One of the three of you is going to take an oath of office come January and immediately inherit what is clearly a fiscal crisis in this state. Fiscal crisis of maybe unprecedented proportions here. What would you do, and with as much specificity as possible, both on day one and in year one, to address Colorado's fiscal situation and budget crisis?
All right. Obviously, the first thing you need to do is in that transition, you've got to put together the best team that you possibly can, and not the traditional appointees, but people from business, people from nonprofits, from universities, but the most talent you can put to really reinvent government. So part of it has to be, people have to believe in government. We have to make it smaller and more effective. What we've done in the city of Denver with, we're 7% fewer employees than when we started 7 years ago. We have to do that in the state and make sure that we're saving every penny we can. Now, best case scenario, that's not going to solve the challenges that appear. So we are going to have to sit down with that team and make some very difficult choices. And what are the priorities? And we tried to use that in the city the same way of saying, we're not going to increase fees, we're not going to raise taxes. We're going to focus on what are those services that people most value and prioritize them. And then simultaneously, we have to turn the economy around, right? We've got to, as you're making government smaller and more effective, you've got to cut red tape. And I think Colorado has to become the place. Nowhere, I've been all over the state, nowhere is there an appetite to raise taxes. So we have to help businesses grow, especially small businesses have to hire more people, pay them more money, generate more sales tax, because ultimately, we have to be pro-business and yet pro-environment. We have to hold ourselves to the highest ethical and environmental standards, and yet we still have to be able to create more jobs and generate more revenues, otherwise we'll never balance the budget.